Hello, welcome back to Modern Dentures. In this video we're going to be registering for a full lower denture. I made this bite block in the previous video if you want to go back and have a little look and see how I did that, and that will explain why it's made the way that it is, why it's thin like this. A couple of ways that I do bite registration. I have a hot plate that I put the denture on and I just leave it like this warming up. It's called a lab aid. Unfortunately they don't sell them anymore, but I still use mine because I find it a really useful way of just heating the occlusal surface of the registration block without heating the rest of it up. However, for this video I'm going to show you how the other way that I do it. In fact, I'll show you a couple of ways of doing it. Probably the most common way of doing it is by using a pin flame. It's got gas in it today. And we just heat that occlusal surface and keep warming it until it gets soft, and then we can do the bite registration. The other way that I do it is I put it in the bottle warmer, but I just hold it there and I'm holding it in the hot water, so it's just softening that occlusal surface. I actually prefer that way because it gives an even softening of the wax. The problem with doing that is that it tends to soften all the wax and not just the occlusal surface. So I wouldn't do that if I've got, you know, a rugby player or something that's got a really strong bite and you put it in, all the wax is soft and they just squash down and the whole thing gets ruined. But in this situation I would probably use the bottle warmer. So that's what I'm going to do with this one and see what the results are like. Okay, so I've warmed it up so that the arches are a little bit malleable, and you could just to the point where you can push them and move them with your fingers. Okay, relax your lips for me. Can we have the denture back in, please? The top one, just the top one, yeah. That's it. Just keep your lips nice and relaxed for me. And then relax your jaw and just close together for me. That's it. Well, just hold it there for me. Just hold it there. Lips together. Just so that they're sort of relaxed together, that's it. And then just put a little bit more pressure on it for me. A little bit more pressure. That's it, just hold it. And then a big toothy smile. And then open for me. Open, that's right. Okay, so I've just registered that bite, but I feel like it's not closed down quite enough. So what I've just done now, I've just reduced this upper model just so that there's clearance on both of the heels and the back there between the tuberosities and the retromolar pads. Because if there's any touching, sometimes it's just touching a little bit, it looks like it's going together properly, but in this case I don't think it was, so I always like to have a little, so I can see daylight through it and it's not touching at all, and in that way you know it's definitely right. So where we've got an impression on the bite block, I'm just trimming it back a little bit, just where that wax is kind of squeezed out and displaced a little bit, and then back into the bottle warmer and reheat it. You don't need to heat it as much this time because I only want to close it down a little bit. Close together for me and then put some pressure on it, a bit more. Just say Friday for me.
Friday.
I know it's a bit of a mouthful, I'm just checking the length of it. And close together again. And open. So registering a bite is probably one of the most difficult things to do when you're making a denture, in a way. So when I put it on the model, I'm just eyeballing it to see if it looks right. It looks right in the mouth now. I think I've closed it down enough to where it should be, but it's not over closed. I'm kind of looking at where the tuberosities are in relationship to the retromolar pad. Usually, if this was in the mouth, they at this point would be connected. They're not connected because I've trimmed them back. I don't want them connected because that will give me a false reading. But I'm looking at them and thinking actually that they look like they're in a good position, and I'm also looking at the distance here, and I'm also looking at the patient's mouth and where the jaws are sitting in relationship to each other. And I think a lot of people get this wrong at this point because they're trying to get it so that it doesn't look like they're over closed, But actually at this point we want the mouth to look like it's overclosed, because it's when the teeth, we're measuring it when the teeth are in occlusion, not when the teeth are in their resting position and that there's a gap between them. So then if we set the teeth like this, then when the jaw's relaxed, it'll be open a little bit and there'll be that freeway space between the teeth. But having said that, and years of experience of doing bite registrations, it's very difficult still to get this 100% right at this stage. However, this is why we're doing the try-in. When we set the teeth up, we can then look to see if the dentures are functioning the way that they should be functioning, if the teeth are meeting when they're meeting, where they should be meeting, sorry. And I usually do that with the speech as well. So you might notice in there, I just asked Christine to say Friday, because you use the F word, you kind of use your lip to do those phonetics, and it gives me a good idea of where the denture's sitting when the F's done, and whether I can see that freeway space. Some people it's difficult to see. With Christine I could see it quite clearly that there was a gap between the teeth when she was saying it, so I feel quite confident that we've got that bite in the right place. But if we haven't, when we do the try-in, I'll just adjust the teeth, reduce it down, or move the teeth up if there's too much of a freeway space. I don't need to make any marks on the model because it's a lower bite block. Obviously we'll just be making the centre line of those lower teeth to the upper teeth and doing all the measurements from there. In terms of where we place the teeth with this one, with how much of the bite was showing in the mouth as well, that we're probably going more of an edge to edge, not too much of an overbite, but probably there will be a little bit of an overjet just because of where those upper anterior teeth are. Hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you in the next one.